Hey, what's up? Ryan K here from Refer.io. Today we're going to talk about how to actually navigate your way and really mentally set the stage for walking that career path that we mapped out last time. If you haven't watched those videos, go back and check it out. But I think a lot of times today we're going to cover is an interesting way to think about it. To think about who do I need to become in order to be successful at navigating from where I am today to where I want to go 5 years from now, to that job that I want to get in that 5 to 10 year window, because I can tell you a whole lot of this has to do with who I need to become. Now, before we jump in, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe. If you have any questions or comments as we're going through this, please throw them down. I read every single one of them. So let's jump in. Have you ever felt like, kind of insecure or uncertain about your strengths and weaknesses when it comes to your career? Kind of felt the worry about I'm not enough. Maybe they call it imposter syndrome of, oh, I'm not good enough to do that. I don't know how to do it. Or even feel attacked when you don't make that next step, like you failed. There is a pretty easy trick to really help you on this adventure. And so the way to think about it is, think about your career journey like it's an adventure. You've now set, where you're starting at. You are here, right? And you know where you want to go. In 5 to 10 years, I want to become this job. And if you've been watching this series of videos, if not, go back and check them out. Then you know that we've already talked about, hey, we've got clarity around what job we want. We know what type of opportunities are out there. We've identified role models of people doing the job right now. Hopefully you've even talked to some of them or interviewed them. We plotted a course by using ChatGPT to actually give it where we want to go, where we're at, plus the profiles of people who've actually done it before. So this isn't a crazy idea. This isn't something that we're blazing a new trail. We're literally following in the footsteps of people who went before us, right? So it's totally possible. Now, but what we need to do now is kind of create our character. Think about this journey, this adventure, like you're playing a video game, right? You have a character. And while that character may or may not even look like you, it has its own characteristics, its own features, its own powers, its strengths, its weaknesses, its own unique thing. And think about it in that way. I have an amazing mentor and coach that's coached me over the past few years called Todd Herman. And Todd wrote a book called The Alter Ego Effect. If you haven't read it, go check it out. I have another amazing person in my network named Ryan Dice. He recorded this video called The Character Diamond. And these two books are really the way to think about the video and the book, about the way you think about who am I and who do I need to become from a character standpoint. Because it very much is a character. Ryan K is a character that I created about, hey, how do I want to show up as I'm helping job seekers? And it's a little kind of a cross or a diamond. That's why it's called the character diamond of, what are my strengths? What's kind of my defining characteristics, and what are some of my quirks or something like that. So for instance, for me, I have spent the last 20 years in the HR tech space, specifically building hiring software. That's my superpower. I know what employers are looking for because I helped 10,000 of them set up their hiring process. I know exactly what they're doing, why they're doing it, what questions they ask, what they're looking at, how their software works that you have to navigate through to get a job. Now, on the flip side, even though I've been super successful at doing that, I'm just a normal person. I don't take myself that seriously. I'm kind of joke around. I'm imperfect, and I probably make typos, and I misspell stuff, and I write terribly, right? Like those are kind of my physical characteristics about me. I'm here on this video in a t-shirt with a funny saying on it. Like I'm not, while I have massive amount of knowledge and context about what you should do, I'm not a buttoned up, stuffy professional, right? Now, on the left and the right, this is more of who we are internally. On the right hand of the character diamond, we have kind of what defines us as who we are. What are our core values? What's the hill we die on, right? What are those things that mean the world to us and that are non-negotiables? And on the left, we have, the stuff that makes us quirky, the stuff that makes us imperfect. So for instance, for me, I always lead with value. I will always share knowledge and resources for free, like this video, that's just who I am. I don't believe in trying to sell somebody something without first proving that it will work, proving how it would work, showing it to them, teaching them. Now, on the far side, what that means is what I teach may not always be perfect. It may not always be nailed down exactly. I tend to go fast and break stuff. And so that kind of defines who I am as a character. And when I go on an adventure, when I'm focused on a goal or I'm trying to achieve something, I have to keep that in mind, because while I made my path, I'm the person who's navigating it. And it gives me some power to kind of create some distance, some separation between me, Ryan the human, and Ryan the character that's navigating this course, so that when he messes up, when he screws something up, when he does the wrong thing, I at least don't internalize it so much that it destroys me, that it makes me feel worthless or stupid or whatever the case may be. I can view myself as this character who can, hit reset, jump back up and move on again. For you, you have to really think about this character as, who do I need to become? You start with, who am I today? But you're really trying to say, how does this person need to evolve? How does it need to show up in this world? How does it need to show up on social media? How does it need to show up on a resume? How does he need to show up at networking events, online, in discussion forums? The tone of voice, the lingo he uses, how he speaks, how he makes a case or makes a statement, how he engages in back and forth communication. What types of things make him credible? And we think about this from a product standpoint. I usually look for these four main things. Number one, what makes me unique, right? I want to be different, not the same as everybody else. That's why I'm wearing a t-shirt when everybody else might be wearing a suit or a collared shirt, even if I'm speaking. So what makes me unique? But I don't want to just be unique just to be unique. I need to be unique in a way that matters for the given situation and to the people who are there. So for me, I need to be unique, but it needs to be relevant to whatever I'm working on. And it needs to be compelling to whoever I'm working with. So the last one is, I need to be credible, believable, that what I'm saying, people actually believe it's real. So let me give you an example of this. For the last 20 years, I've been helping human resource professionals. I kind of view them as like my mom, my older sister. They're mostly, and when I started, I was like 29. So they're mostly like 30 to 60-year-old females, right? Later stage tech doctors, fairly risk averse. That's my target audience. And so when I would show up either on a video or speaking on stage or at a trade show, I knew who my character was. My character was, I want to be their smart little brother. He's kind of snarky. He doesn't take himself too seriously, but he always has the right answer. And his answer is usually a very unique way to think about it, because he's kind of techie. And that was my character of how I wanted to show up in that world. It was extremely compelling. I was wildly successful. 10,000 clients. We grew to, when I stepped down from Applicant Pro, like $40 million a year in revenue, 10,000 clients, 11 years in a row on the Inc. 5000 list. And most of that was made possible because I had clarity about who I was and who I needed to become to drive and navigate through that. I also had this huge group of almost 300 people who worked for me, and most of them were working moms. And I knew once again who I wanted to be. I wanted to be not like their boss. I wanted to be their smart brother. That was just the way that I viewed myself, that I wanted to have this position of trust and credibility, but also authenticity, that I could show up the way I want to show up, that I wouldn't have to take myself too seriously, that I wouldn't have to be so focused on dotting every I and crossing every T. I knew at work I wanted to be this innovative visionary that was moving fast and breaking stuff. I knew externally to my target audience, I wanted to be their smart, techie, sarcastic little brother. And so that there gave me kind of a different alter ego, a different hat to put on based on the situation. It doesn't mean I'm being fake. Most of these things really do represent me. It's just I'm amplifying different parts of who I am to fit the given situation based off being different, being relevant, being compelling, and the last one being credible, super important. Kind of has to do with my character diamond, right? I'm going to come up with the right answer. It may take me a while, but I will get to the right answer. I am going to lead with value, and if somebody doesn't feel like I brought enough value, I'll give them more value until we reach the point that it's overwhelming. And so that hopefully that makes sense as far as who am I today actually isn't a great place to start. You can think about what are some of my strengths, what are some of my weaknesses, but the question you want to ask yourself is what is the character of who I am if it was in a video game, right? Because that gives you some freedom to kind of like amplify your quirkiness. And then we want to say, okay, for each of these stages I'm going to go as I'm doing this adventure, who does this character need to become? What type of powers and traits will he or she need to amplify to make it to that next level, to be successful at that next level, both with what I'm going to need to do and with who am I going to need to influence and have on my side, have cheering for me, have on my team, have helping me, right? Who do I need to become? Now, if you check in the comments, I put a link to Todd's book. I also put a link to Ryan Dice's video. Go watch it. Because at the end of the day, if we're going to be successful on this career adventure, while we're the ones in charge of steering the ship, of driving and plotting the course and steering through it, we need other people to cheer for us. We need other people to help us out. We need other people to view us as a compelling character that they want to see win. And that's, again, why it's so important to spend a few minutes, really sit down and unpack this idea of who are we? What would our character be like in a video game? What parts would we want to accentuate or amplify to make us compelling, to make us different, to make us stand out, to help us along the way? And at each stage, how is that character going to have to evolve? How is it going to have to change? Because let me be honest, it's not just about learning more skills or spending more time in a job. If you want to go from where you're at today to a job that is a stretch, that is an awesome place, you're most likely going to have to evolve as an individual. You're going to have to evolve not just with your skills, but with your soft skills, with the way you engage with people. You're going to have to evolve your network. You're going to have to evolve in almost every single way. And the bigger, more important, the bigger that jump is, the more amazing that end goal is, the more you're going to have to evolve to get there. And so this is a great way to think about it. Now, thank you so much for watching the end of this video. If you liked it, number one, like it. Number two, subscribe. And number three, if you have a question, comment, throw it into the comments. I read every single one of them. Thanks so much for watching. More videos to come. And so stick around, subscribe, shoot me an email if you want. Otherwise, we'll talk to you again soon.